Hey guys, it's Scott here and welcome to the Champions League draw for the 21-22 season. We're going to be doing our predictions based on the draw that has just concluded, and we're going to see what we think is going to happen. I'm obviously going to want your feedback in the comment section down below and your predictions as well, so do those in the comments, and if you do enjoy the video, as per usual, make sure you hit the thumbs up. You've been smashing the support on the recent videos and I really do appreciate it, and we are less than 100 subs away from 1,000 subscribers on this channel, so make sure you subscribe if you are new. Go and follow us on Twitch, go and sub to our main channel, all that good stuff. The links are always in the description. Twitter, Instagram, etc. It's all there. So without further ado, let's get into the Champions League draw. So the draw started today after much delay because, my goodness, UEFA stall so much when doing these, but it went on for a very long time and we finally have the results. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through group by group. We're not going to bother showing you who was in each pot because you'll be able to work it out from who is where in each of the groups. So 8 groups, 4 teams in each. Let's start with the first one. So Group A starts things off with an absolute bang. Manchester City, first out into the first pot. The first name pulled in the competition after failing to win it last time, getting beaten by Chelsea in the final. Who do they draw? PSG! So, after all of the craziness regarding Messi potentially going to Man City, and then it ended up not working because of Grealish and everything like that, he goes to PSG, and now he's playing against Manchester City. If you've also been on the internet in the last few days, you will have seen the insane amount of links of Ronaldo maybe going to Man City. This could be the last hurrah of Ronaldo v Messi if he does go there. And oh my goodness, how incredible would that be? So, City PSG to start things off is already mad. Then we get the third team, and it's RB Leipzig, who are sick as well. Had some very, very entertaining games in the Champions League in recent years as well. Very, very fun team to watch. Not going to be easy for either of those two teams, even though they are mega clubs now. This is not an easy draw for them. And then the fourth team is Club Bruges, who, when you compare them to the others, not quite as good. However, it could have been a lot easier for every other team in that group to have got somebody else, which you'll see in some of the other groups. So, not fully a group of death. However, it is not easy. You would still expect Man City and PSG to be the top 2 in the group. However, don't be surprised if someone like Leipzig push their way into second. But my prediction for Group A, it's kind of hard to say. Because if Ronaldo goes to Man City, then it obviously throws a spanner in the works. However, we are going to do it based on transfers as they stand, squads as they stand. I go PSG top of the group, then Man City, and then Leipzig, and then Club Bruges. Let's get to Group B. Now we start off Group B with La Liga winners Atletico Madrid. Had a really, really good season, even though it looked like they may have bottled at the very end of the season. They just about held on, managed to take that title away from Barca and Madrid, with Suarez absolutely stealing the show throughout the season. Incredible signing from them and absolutely smashed it in the league. Champions League could have gone a little bit better, but this time they are in pot 1. However, if we are saying that there is a group of death, I would say that it is Group B, because up next in slot number 2 from pot 2 is Liverpool. So Liverpool will be returning to the Wanda Metropolitano, where they did actually win the Champions League a couple of seasons ago. So could be a good sign for them that they might be going back from that feeling of success, and now they'll just take that into that fixture. But yeah, that is an awesome tie. You've got basically attacking football versus defensive football, with the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object kind of thing. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out this year. Next up, from pot 3, we've got Porto, who, if those of you that did not see the Champions League last year, they were very impressive. Very, very impressive. There was one performance, Pepe. He's getting on, right? He's pretty old at this stage, but my goodness, he was unreal. And they look like a very, very good outfit. Now, they are pot 3, which means that, obviously, we've still got one more team to join them. And that team is AC Milan. So, as I say, if there is a group of death, it is Group B. This is sick. I'm really, really excited for this group to happen, and I cannot wait to see it. Obviously, I've got to do a prediction for this group, and I mean, it's outrageously difficult. I'm going to go with Liverpool to win the group. I think that they are just going to do it. They're just so good. And with everyone back from injury this season, I think they're going to do very, very well. I think Liverpool will top the group. I'm going to go out on a limb. Maybe this is stupid. Maybe it is, or maybe I'll look like a genius. I think AC Milan are going to somehow, some way, nick their way into second. I know that they're not the AC Milan of old, don't get me wrong. It's not as if I don't know football and I think that they've still got like the golden age of like Thiago Silva, Ibra, that level of team that was just world-class players in every position. It's not that anymore. However, they are starting to get back towards that sense, and they've sort of been rebuilding a little bit lately. I think they're just going to go on a decent run, and I want to go with predictions that aren't just, oh, first, second, third, fourth, based on the pots that we've been given. That would be boring. So, AC Milan second, Atletico third, Porto fourth. Let's move on to Group C. So we start things off with Sporting, who did manage to win the league for the first time in ages over in Portugal. They come out in pot 1, probably one of the weakest in pot 1 that we've got this year, alongside one of the others that we'll get to in a minute. They come up against Dortmund in pot 2, which is a big boy that you do not want to hit. So not ideal for Sporting there, and pretty worrying, to be honest with you, when you then see Ajax coming through as your third team, followed by Besiktas. So it's not the absolute mega clubs. And so, again, it's kind of hard to call this a group of death, although the level of teams in this group is probably one of the most balanced that we have. It just isn't full of PSG, Man City, blah, blah, blah. So this is a really, really tough one to call. You've got 4 very, very good teams in here. And this is a tough one. I'm going to go with Dortmund to win the group. I think Ajax are going to come second. I think Sporting are going to come third, and Besiktas to come fourth. Group D, let's go. First up, Inter Milan, obviously winning the Serie A and doing it in style. Unfortunately though, losing out on multiple players. Hakimi left to PSG, Lukaku went in a near £100 million move to Chelsea, and Conte's left as well. So they've basically been decimated of some of their best assets, even though they won the league, which is really unfortunate for them because they had massive money problems. But they do come out in pot 1. Now, unfortunately for them, Real Madrid came out of pot 2 to join this group. So some really, really good fixtures already between those two. Going to be very interesting to see how they do. Obviously, Real Madrid looking to sort of become the mega team again after last couple of years not being at the same, like since Ronaldo left, it's not quite been the same oomph that Real Madrid has had. Now they've lost Sergio Ramos, they're trying to sign Mbappe, maybe that will happen, but again, as it stands, they haven't. Joining them though, I'm not going to lie, I didn't know who one of these teams were until today, but in third, we've got Shakhtar. Shakhtar, you always see them in these European competitions. They never get super far, but they're always there and thereabouts. Now fourth, we've got Sheriff. Yeah. Didn't know that they existed, to be honest with you. They are the first Moldovan team in the Champions League, which is pretty damn cool. However, I can't say I fancy their chances in this one. And I think I'm only going to make one change from the initial lineup. I'm going to switch Real Madrid and Inter Milan. Madrid to finish top, Inter to finish second, Shakhtar third, and Sheriff fourth, unfortunately. Group E, Bayern Munich and Barcelona. I don't really need to say much more. We saw the 8-2 previously. Absolute embarrassment. And it's just two mega teams obviously facing off once again. Now, Barcelona, for the first time in the Champions League without Messi in Nearly 2 decades. Outrageous, isn't it? Absolutely insane that that is even a sentence that is still... It doesn't seem right to say it, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they perform without him. And coming up against Bayern Munich, that's a little... I mean, it's being thrown in at the deep end, you could say, in the Champions League. You wanted a nice, easy group, but from coming in pot 2, it was very unlikely. You needed to get really, really lucky and get like Sporting or someone like that. But Bayern Munich joining Barcelona, and then we've got Benfica joining them as the 3rd team in that group, which, again, also a big, big team that can cause upsets in these kind of competitions. And then the last one, Dynamo Kiev. Not, again, similar to Shakhtar, they're always there. You'll always see them in the lists of teams in these European competitions because they do so well in their leagues and they do okay in these competitions, but they normally get knocked down from like Champions League down into Europa League, and then they get to a decent stage in that competition. Now, I think that it's actually going to finish. I think this is the first group that I've done this for. It's going to finish in the same order that you're seeing it on the screen right now. I think it'll be Bayern, Barca, Benfica, and then Kiev. Next group. This is Group F, and we see the return of the Europa League final, but this time in the Champions League. First up was Villarreal, obviously coming to pot 1 because they won the Europa League, regardless of how they did in the league. And then pot 2, we've got Manchester United, obviously did not win the league, second pot. It's going to be interesting to see how they fare coming up against each other again after what was a pretty crazy final with one of the most ridiculous penalty shootouts I've ever witnessed. Honestly, just mental that one, wasn't it? So that's going to be very, very fun to see. And then we've got Atalanta joining them, famous for scoring a ton of goals. So if your defences aren't feeling up to the mark on that day, good luck beating Atalanta, right? Sure, their defensive record may not be as good, but they score a ton of goals. You've got to defend for your lives against them. And then the 4th team in that group is Young Boys. So, how am I going to do this one? Well, I think that Man United, with the additions of Sancho and Varane, maybe still a midfielder to come in, but as it stands, no. I think that will be a bit too much for the Villarreal that managed to beat them previously. So I think Man U are going to come top of the group. Then, I think it's actually a little bit difficult between Villarreal and Atalanta, but I'm going to stick with Villarreal. I think they're going to come second in the group, Atalanta 3rd, Young Boys 4th. 2 groups to go. Group G is another interesting one. We've got someone that you wouldn't really expect to come into pot 1 here. We've got Lille, obviously managed to take to the league over PSG last season. Crazy season that they had. They did end up losing a couple of players and stuff like that. The manager, which is interesting, a little bit like Inter Milan, like us, Leicester. We managed to get Soumare off of them for a really good deal. So they had money problems as well. So even though they're coming in pot 1, it's still not an easy time for them, okay? So in the remainder of Lille's group, we've got Sevilla, who are always notoriously decent in European competition. However, normally you'll see them doing better in the Europa League rather than the Champions League. A lot of the time they'll get knocked down and then they'll go on and win the Europa League. You've also got Wolfsburg in this group. And also Red Bull Salzburg. I was jumping the gun there. Salzburg come in 3rd and then Wolfsburg come in 4th. So again, quite a balanced group, this one. Just not super, super exciting. So, my prediction, I think Sevilla are going to win this group. I really do. Then I'm going to put Lille 2nd. I'm going to put Wolfsburg 3rd, Salzburg 4th. Let's get on to the final group. So, Group H, we see the winners and current holders of the Champions League in Chelsea, obviously managing to beat Manchester City last time round, 1-0 in the final thanks to a Kai Havertz finish, where he managed to sort of take it round the keeper and place it into the back of the net. And they are coming up against, as it stands, Cristiano Ronaldo's Juventus, which could be a really, really good tie. If they do end up losing him, then obviously it seems a little bit more advantage Chelsea, but right now, Juventus and Ronaldo in the UCL, we know the magic that he can come up with. Now, the other two teams are in a little bit of a pickle here. We've got Zenit coming in third place. It was actually Ivanovic who was doing the draw, who managed to pull out both Chelsea and Zenit, which was quite nice for him. And then Malmö, the Swedish team. So, yeah, they're not looking like they're in the best place, especially with how Chelsea are playing right now. So I'm going to put Chelsea to win this group, then Juventus, and then I'm going to keep it exactly as it is. Zenit third and Malmö in fourth. So, those are all of my Champions League predictions based on all of the groups that you see on your screen. Let me know who you think I have got wrong. Do you think that there's going to be any surprise packages in the Champions League this year? Now, normally, if this was a different, like, international kind of competition, I could do my predictions for the remainder of the competition, the future rounds. But obviously, the UCL doesn't work like that. We will see who gets who. We're in another draw in the future. So we will be back for another video when this round of competition is over, ready to do predictions for the next one. But for now, let me know, who do you think is going to top each of the groups? If you did enjoy the video, thumb it up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.